Today is an illustration that came about when I was watching a drawsome by Chantel at Darkest Raven Designs, and she brought to my attention of this inky cap mushroom. And I have never ever heard of an inky cap mushroom. So when I watched her draw this thing, I just went, oh my god, I have to research this mushroom because it just seems like it's right up my alley. And when I did, I just went, oh my god, if a mushroom was my spirit animal or spirit fungi, this would be it. It is as dark as my soul. So I had to incorporate this mushroom into an illustration. So I started working on an illustration with this mushroom in it, and all I could sort of there was a lot of brainstorming and planning with this, and nothing was really working out for quite a few weeks, and I sort of didn't know why. And then I just left it, and then I came back to it, and then I just decided to do like the head and neck and a little bit of the chest of a girl who looks a little bit like a little bit exaggerated, so in her features. So she's more of she's not fully human. She sort of gives me like fairy or pixie vibes. And yeah, she has this this inky cap mushroom sort of hat that she wears, and it's oozing that black stuff that comes down from it. And not only does she have this hat, but she has also got these inky cap mushrooms growing out of her neck and her chest a bit. So this is a warning if you have any sort of phobia regarding holes in the skin, like the trypophobia. I would not recommend watching the last half of this video because, or the end, towards the end anyway, where I do the mushrooms coming out of the holes. So yeah, just a warning if you don't like that sort of stuff. So yeah, I like I have said in one of the past videos, I am trying to work on faces and eyes and noses and mouths and all that to do with the head, basically, even hair, because it's something that I am not good at. And I have been neglecting that for so long because it was something that I didn't really want to do. And right now I'm in this phase where I want to draw people, and I want to draw especially girls and women and sort of get that nailed down, because if I sort of avoid it and not do as much with it, I'm afraid that I'm going to be left behind in my art creativity and my and not advancing my skill level and trying to better myself, which is what I'm trying to do. And a lot of this is experimentations and trying to get a bit more of a cleaner looking picture, because a lot of my pictures I find are very I wouldn't say that I have very clean, smooth lines and structure to my art. It is very rough, and it's very haggard, and it's very raw. I'm trying to find a word. Probably rugged is probably the best way to describe my art. There is no sort of soft lines and smooth flow to a lot of it. It is quite harsh. I am not trying to change that, but I am trying to also create a sense of something else in my drawings. And I'm using a palette that I haven't used in a while, which is Connie's purple palette, which I really enjoy the purple. So as you see now, this whole piece is basically going to be different kinds of purple and black. So that's the theme of this video. I don't tend to use a huge amount of purples. Like, purple's a really nice color, and there are some purples I like over others, but I don't tend to use a huge amount because I tend to put purple in the same box as pink. Like, nothing's as bad as pink in my opinion. Like, I am not a pink person whatsoever, and I will avoid pink at all costs if I can. But purple is not as bad as pink, but it's something that I tend to try and stay away from. I like to work with more reds and monster greens and moss greens and browns and blacks, those sort of color tones. In blues, I do like blues, but yeah, anything sort of girly I tend to stay away from. But I think that I need to tackle a little bit of the girly aspects of some of these pictures to sort of help myself not stray down the path of just having really rugged, harsh pictures that that are just really sort of harsh. I don't know, I'm not really good with words. I'm just trying to word this the best I can. I'm not good. Like, I'll be in the shower later, and then I will remember the words that I need to say for this. And then I would have already rendered this video and uploaded it ready to go, and could not be bothered doing any of that again because it's such a long process as it is. Anyway, this piece is very dark. It's very, very dark, and it's just a girl standing there looking directly at you, and she's got one colored eye that has like a cross in the eye, and I made that eye metallic purple. As you can see now, I am painting it metallic purple, and then the other eye is just normal. It's just a normal color, well, normal for this piece anyway, but I just wanted to make one eye different because that's what I like to do sometimes. I look at pieces and I'm like, I can't have symmetry, I've got to have something a little bit more different on one side. I don't know why I can't seem to do that, but that's just me. And it's very sort of hard learning how to go in and shade all the different spots of the face, and that's what I am currently learning how to do. I'm nowhere near good at doing this, so forgive me if some of the shadows do not make sense on the face or anything like that. Like I said, I'm just trying to figure this out myself. Because I honestly like to fail at things before I then go in and think, well, maybe I should do some research. I like to try. I'm just more of a person who likes to try and figure things out first and make myself look like a dick before I then go in and work it out by looking at a tutorial. But in saying that, sometimes when I even do look at tutorials, I still can't get a grasp on what I'm trying to do. I still can't execute. Like hair is the hardest thing to do as far as I'm concerned. I put hair on the highest of high complicated things to do in art. Then next goes eyes, then mouths, then noses, then hands. I have good days and bad days with hands. I'm okay with hands for the time being, but hair is the biggest, most intimidating thing for me, and I really am trying to work on that. And in this piece, I try to work on the hair, but I end up not being happy with the hair. So what I did was I just went in and I basically made it very blotchy and sort of galaxy, sort of just blotchy, bleeding colors, because I just didn't want to tackle this hair. I sort of once again bit off more than I could chew with the hair, and when I sort of started going in and doing some details on the side, as you can see I'm starting to do the details in the hair, I just was not happy with what I was doing, and then just that's where the decision went to, was just to turn the hair into a slightly sort of galaxy cloudy type hair. So if you want a little bit of information about the Inky Cap mushroom, I found out that the Inky Cap mushroom is only in Europe and North America. So we do not have any in Australia, which is very disappointing, because I would really have liked to see one in real life. I don't know if I'm ever going to go to Europe or, well, I've been to America, but definitely didn't see any Inky Caps when I was there. But yeah, they're a very unusual looking mushroom, and I really like the ones that do have that drip, that dripping, oozing black. I don't know what it is that's dripping off of them, but yeah, it looks absolutely beautiful, but at the same time it is absolutely disgusting. And apparently these particular mushrooms are toxic, like most mushrooms that you find in the yard. They are toxic and you should not eat them at all. So apparently these particular mushrooms, if you do eat them, they do cause nausea, vomiting, palpitations, tingling in your limbs, all that sort of stuff. But apparently if you drink alcohol with them, these symptoms can be quite severe. Now, why you would want to drink alcohol with this particular mushroom is beyond me, but apparently if you don't consume alcohol with these mushrooms, the side effects only last for 2 to 3 hours. But they recommend that you do not drink alcohol leading up to 3 or 4 days after you've eaten these mushrooms. I found that extremely weird. And yeah, it's a bit of a random fact that I found about these mushrooms. It's like, okay, well, why are people drinking them with alcohol and making this whole thing worse? But apparently it's a thing. So I don't know if that's true. To me, it just sounds extremely weird, but yeah, that's just what it's just what I read. So with this piece, I sort of didn't know where to stop. And I do have this sometimes with pieces where I just keep going and going and going and just wondering where is the stopping point. I sort of really didn't know with this piece. So yeah, once I got to the point where I did the background and did some more sort of bleeding, sort of cloudy effect in the background, then I knew that it was time to do the white gel pen on the face. So I just added some of that white gel pen into the eyes and gave the nose a bit of a sheen, and did some on the mouth, as you can see. Then I decided to go in and do some dots on the mushroom. I was really feeling that, and I have seen some Inky Cap mushrooms with some white speckles on them, and I really liked that effect. It sort of broke down a lot of the sort of dullness to the picture and gave it a bit more depth and character. And then I go in and add a bit of white highlight to that sort of really cloudy hair, And yeah, just doing stuff that I wouldn't normally do is yeah, it's quite interesting, and sort of trying to work out where to put some of the white highlights in on such a large area of hair. And yeah, that was quite daunting, and I'm hoping I pulled some of that off. And I only just subtly did some areas because I didn't want to go overboard with the white gel pen, because it's easy for me to do that with a white gel pen. I've been trying to rein that shit in for quite a while now. But then I finished it off with some dots in the backgrounds, floating around with some sparkly purple. And then I decided to do a few dots on her face, because her face was looking a bit plain. And I just went in and put some dots, like little freckles, on her nose and her face, and also on her chest. So yeah, that's it from me. I'm hoping you enjoyed this piece, and I'll see you guys in the next one.